Welcome to TRS Clips. I began this channel because sometimes on YouTube you just want to go on learning sprees. So after this fantastic video, make sure you watch the other videos on the channel. Hit like, subscribe, and enjoy.
He started thinking when he was growing up, he saw dilapidated forts. So he knew that one fort, he learned that if you are 10 people on the fort, you can fight 1,000 people who are at the foothills. Because you are you can throw anything, naphtha balls,
Yeah.
and you can even simple rocks you can throw from
Height advantage.
from the height and fight with them. What I always tell, I don't know, there are certain things which I go along, which nobody ever thought, even not even the Hindu kings for 2000 years. So I feel Shivraj had the IQ of, he could have made an equation like E is equal to MC square. That level of things he thought then, scientific things. So I sometimes equate him with Einstein. So how he thought that? How nobody else thought? No other Hindu king, not even Vijayanagara Empire Hindu kings thought that. Why? So first thought was, these are simple things. When he grows up, what he thinks was his vision. That's different. That is like E is equal to MC square. So he thought, if I take those dilapidated forts, Adil Shahi was relaxed. They had joined hand with the Mughal. So those forts around Pune were used as brothels. And the granaries were not looked after, the walls were not repaired, the whole structure was falling, and the people staying there were very casual. So they were not in fighting spirit. Nothing was maintained. You have to maintain a fort. How you maintain a fort? It has to be maintained strong. The outer wall has to be strong, and no enemy should penetrate inside that fort. The granaries must be full, so even 500 sentinels or warriors or foot soldiers come, they can stay there. The rain harvesting has to be, the lakes have to be cleaned and maintained, so you have drinking water. So fort maintenance is not a joke, and they were not maintaining. So Shivraj thought, if I can just take over these forts and repair them and make them fighting fit, I will have a base here. And Jagirdars, what Jagirdars? Many Jagirdars can have thoughts like me. So the Jagirdari system itself, there is a flaw. Why would a king outsource? See, that time the real power was with the Jagirdars. The Shahs, and even to an extent the emperor, were titular heads. What power they had if they are outsourcing the army?
Are you trying to say that Aurangzeb possibly wasn't as powerful as we think
No,
he was?
I'm saying, no, how Shivraj saw the flaws. So the optical illusion which the Mughals created, that is why I said in the first, everybody was scared of that optical illusion, that they are so powerful.
It was like how in big companies to scale, you have something called company culture that makes everyone think in a certain way. So maybe the Mughal Empire had a culture, he's an emperor, you better respect him.
No, they used to have parades. They used to have parades in Delhi to show and through the roads of Agra, to show how powerful they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were, there was a show of power, I would say.
But it was optical
Parades.
illusion oriented power.
Yes, and they had Agadis, or they had their own cavalry force, the emperor himself. And they were only good for parade, those soldiers. They're not good for battlefield. Dress well, beautiful, go on the cavalry, then will come the elephant cavalry, then will come the camel cavalry, and it will run through Agra streets, Delhi streets. It's just a show. And our kings and those, they became vassals, no? That optical illusion they created. So what Shivraj had that time, 1,000 dilapidated villages, no collection, the land was not cultivated. So when Dadaji Kondev, and now everybody gets angry when they talk about Dadaji Kondev, because there is a split between Brahmins and Marathas. Now they have created a caste called Maratha. Dadaji Kondev, what he did, he guided Shivraj. He was not his guru. I will not call guru. Shivraj had his own instincts. Nobody can be a guru for a person like Shivraj. But what he indicated that we can remove this curse by tilling the land with golden plow. Plow, what they call it. So they tilted, they made a small gold plow and they tilled the land with Shivrai. Shivrai tilled the land and they said now the curse is gone. And they went from mountains to mountains, from forest to forest and brought back the cultivators which were hiding there. So then the cultivation started. Then when the cultivation started, then they started paying taxes. Some legitimate money started coming in Shivrai's treasury.
Just want to highlight one concept from the world of geopolitics here. All wars are won or lost based on logistics
Yes.
and economics.
Economics.
So before you actually go to war, you fix your logistics and economics.
Yes. So when the money started coming in, skilled workers like Balutedar started coming in, then the Pune became a hub of activity.
So first you become rich before doing your mission.
Yeah, mission. No, then he started with 100 training farmers. What he said, he was very clear. Once the forts were acquired, he needed to man them. In Marathi, it is called Shibandi or fort cavalry. Fort, not cavalry, sorry. Fort soldier. Fort, not foot soldiers, fort soldiers.
Yeah.
So you go, he wanted to man the forts with soldiers. So how? So what he told the people, many of them Balutedars and Kundbis and Brahmins also, you do your work for 6 months. In rainy season, you become my soldier. When you are not doing your work. So he started training them. So this was a start, and Shivrai acquired few forts around. How he acquired? He just went there, paid them some money, because now he got some little money from the agriculture tax, because the land was getting tilled and they were growing some grains. So he got little money and he started training some people, Marathi speaking, I mean. Swords he got, and he's a Jagirdar's son after all. He knows the tactics. He knew what his father was doing. He had seen it while growing up. So he started training the people and then manning the forts and repairing them. People say that he found a pot of gold coins in one of the forts. But, those are hypotheses, stories, which I don't know. I have no history to... Maybe it is true, maybe it is not. So he manned the forts, and there was one fort called Purandar. He manned that. There was the fort commander there. He Shivrai took him in confidence, and then he took over Purandar also. He took over Kondana, which was later known as Sinhagad. Then few other forts he took over around. So then Adil Shah woke up. So what the hell is happening around that area? Then he called Shahaji Raje and said, "What is your son doing?"
How old was Shivrai at the time?
In his early teens.
Early teens?
Yeah, I think 15, 16, not 18 also.
And he had figured out economics and business.
Exactly. That is what I'm saying. How, I don't know. How the thoughts came. He was in his teens only when this was all happening. Then Shahaji Raje sent the message to Dadaji Kondev that see what Shivrai is doing. Why is he doing these things? Shivrai did not listen to anybody. Then again Shahaji Raje, some say he was, he already, because he was doing so great, he was fighting from Bangalore for now Adil Shah. And he was taking over temple towns of south from Vijayanagara Empire, which was breaking down anyway. So he had acquired certain kind of respect in the heart of Adil Shah. So when he had acquired that respect, he had organically created enemies in the darbar of Adil Shah. And there were some Marathas and some Muslims were his enemies. One of them was Afzal Khan. So he was creating enemies. So history said, now I don't know whether it is correct history because I have read it in Bakhars, which are, you pay commissioned writing. So I don't know really, not in through correspondence. So they say he was captured and taken to Bijapur, and he was, asked questions. But the bottom line is that he said to Adil Shah, my son is beyond my control. Do what you want to do with him.
Because you think he secretly knew that the son will still rise to power anyway?
He had no idea at that time, I feel. How will have anybody? Can he? Nobody can predict future.
Okay.
So he said this, that I cannot control my son. He does not listen to me. You do what you want with him. Then that time Adil Shah sent the first force to, when Shivrai was in Purandar fort, the whole Adil Shahi force, maybe 1,000 or 2,000, 5,000, I'm not sure, which is there in my book, cavalry force to Purandar. And for the first time in history, an independent Maratha Jagirdar's son defeated the invaders. First, that Purandar, at the foothills, Adil Shah Sardars were killed, and then they went back to Bijapur.
Use the core logic of
This
height
was the
advantage.
first ever Shivrai's victory, which gave him complete confidence.
Mm.
Okay, so Purandar's first history was Purandar. After that, then things started rolling fast. Now he wanted what he wanted, to get the Marathas, maximum amount of Marathas into his fold and fight against Adil Shah. Nobody joined him.
Why?
Other than one family, Jedhes. Of course, they did not see success there.
It's a death
We saw-
trap.
It's a dead, I mean, they were really reluctant to join. There was one such Maratha family called the Mores. They were in the valley of Javli. See, if you see geographically, this is Pune. Shivrai then knew that going towards east, towards Bijapur is futile, because his force cannot fight pitched battles, face-to-face battles against a great cavalry force,
Mm.
because he doesn't have strength, he doesn't have money. So where would he go? Where will he expand his territory? Is only western side, Konkan, which is still there are treacherous slopes if you see. The Sahyadri slopes, the entire region is mountainous. Konkan itself is not good for heavy duty cavalry. So how he thought about this, I don't know. So I give him full marks for that, thinking that he knew very clearly that Konkan is my next station, where I would acquire Konkan and rule. I can expand my territory. He was also looking to expand the territory, more agriculture tax. So but to acquire Konkan, it was not like national highway today, we go to Pune, Bombay easily. There were treacherous tracks. I got the map of those tracks also in my book. Of course, I have not made it. It is adopted from another book. So he needed the valley which now lie between the Pune region and Konkan. That is Valley of Javli, which is dense. Then it was where Pratapgarh Fort is now there, if you had gone there. That Valley of Javli on the banks of Koyna. Koyna flows through that, the river Koyna. That was too dense, and the mountains were more treacherous. They were like imposing. They were like falling on you as if you see those mountains. I have seen Alps, they look manicured little things in front of, if you go to Sahyadri in this region, Javli region. So the Mores were ruling Javli. Now see, now you'll have to think of history very hard. Like I would say, please pay attention to this part of history. So he wanted to attack the Mores. And now he was in his 20s. He wanted to take over First he wrote a lot of letters to Mores. Please, join me. So Mores said, nothing doing. Who are you? Mores were also very arrogant. They were coming to Shivrai's territory and his Jagir and collecting taxes, and they were torturing farmers. So Shivrai said, stop all this and join me against my fight against Adil Shahi. Then one lobby was formed, anti-Bhosle lobby. Because here they were jealous of Shahaji Raje, and Shivrai was, asking them to do things which were unheard of.
This is the first time the name Bhosle is coming up on this episode. So
Yes.
you'll have to give some context to the
So
listeners.
Bhosle, Shivraj's surname was Bhosle.
Okay.
So that is a family.
Okay.
So that lobby was getting formed, and it was headed by Afzal Khan. It was all political, nothing to do with religion.
Hmm.
It's all against, it's all political for power
And money.
and money and of course the fame.
Hmm.
So, and Afzal Khan has his own deep insecurities because he was the son of a cook in the Bijapur's Darbar, and he was always looked down upon by the rich Muslim and Hindu and Afghan and all those Sardars. So he wanted to show, now I have arrived. So he was trying to, for power he was fighting. Then Mores refused to help. That same year, 1656, Shivraj attacked the valley of Javli. At the same time, Prince Aurangzeb was attacking Hyderabad to get military power in the south.
Hmm.
That I told you, no?
Yeah.
So 1656, in February, March, when Shivraj attacked valley of Javli, Aurangzeb attacked Hyderabad.
If you enjoyed this video, here's a playlist full of videos kind of related to the one that you just saw. Enjoy.